Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and Saturday waits.
Yeah, Hollywood, you know I love you more than one night should. Yeah, Hollywood, well kiss me good. Yeah, Hollywood, you know I love you more than...
In part 6 of this television special presentation, we're going to take a look at the station that I've been watching that has probably the most shows as far as anything that I'm watching, and that of course is, strangely enough, the Disney-owned station, network television station, ABC. ABC has a total of 4 series that I am watching, some new and some old, as well as a special that I will not be reviewing today because it won't be showing up until January. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with the 2 comedies that I am watching. First of all, we're going into Season 2 of The Goldbergs. Now, I will post my review of The Goldbergs in the box below. It is a great show. To me, it is a reminder of sitcoms of old, like Charles in Charge and Full House and Family Ties, but with a little bit more of a modern twist, like Malcolm in the Middle, just because of the fact that it doesn't have any canned laughter. But the show just picked up where it left off in Season 1, and I am so glad that this show was able to continue, because there was a point in time where they were saying that it probably wasn't going to survive 13 episodes, but because of a crazy outreaching on the Goldbergs Facebook page, they created the complete first season of the Goldbergs. It's now on DVD for purchase, and they gave us a second season. Adam Goldberg is awesome, really going into his past to bring us a sitcom of family life in the 1980s, and the cast is just as strong as it was before. George Siegel is hilarious. Wendy McClendon-Covey definitely makes the show. Jeff Garlin, they're emphasizing a little bit more on him than just his screaming. There are some lines that I have watched on this show that have made me laugh so hard. But the good thing is the children are being expanded upon. I was a little bit upset over the fact that Erica was not really talked about and really didn't have much of a character expansion, but this season, while it got off to a slow start, they have given her a much bigger role to play, and the last episode that I watched was in regards to her neglecting her mom because of the fact that she just doesn't want to be associated with her because she thinks that Beverly is not cool. It really was a great episode, and I'm really hoping that we're going to see more of it. But if you haven't seen The Goldbergs, if you just want to find a sitcom that just reminds you a little bit of some of the really great sitcoms that were in the 1980s, even in the early 1990s, I highly recommend The Goldbergs, and I think we're going to have a very strong second season. Now we're going to move to the show that is on right after The Goldbergs on ABC, and that is Blackish, the comedy that was written and produced by Anthony Anderson and Lawrence Fishburne. And oh my god, I never would have imagined seeing Morpheus in a comedy role. This show reminds me a lot of The Goldbergs, but it also brings back another great sitcom from the 80s, and that's The Cosby Show. A show that really did break the stereotype of African Americans living in America, showing that, you know what, they're very successful people too. We've got Anthony Anderson's character Dre, who is an executive at a advertising firm, and his wife, who is named Rainbow, who happens to be a doctor, and their 4 children. 2 are a set of twins, and of course, Anthony Anderson's character's father living with them and just appreciating the things in life. But the great thing about Anthony Anderson's character in the show is the fact that he feels that his kids are just so privileged, and they live in a mostly white suburban neighborhood, and they don't know what it's like to be black. So he's trying. And I'm sorry for laughing because it's just such a funny concept. He's trying to re-emphasize that, you know, you gotta act black even where you are right now. You know, like, be gangsta, make it real, and stuff like that. I hate to throw those stereotypes in, but pretty much what the show is about. And it's got some hysterical moments on the show. Dre's oldest son, Junior, is just a nerdy kid. His daughter is just someone that doesn't really want to associate with her parents, but the twins, Jack and Diane, are the best because they are two completely different personalities that work together so well. Jack is dumb as a brick, and Diane is overprivileged, extremely smart, and it's just hysterical how the two of them work together. And Lawrence Fishburne is without a doubt one of the best characters on the show. He is so funny. I can't stress it enough. I've never seen Lawrence Fishburne perform like that because I've seen him mostly in dramas and even The Matrix, but oh my god, you want to see Lawrence Fishburne in a different light, you have to watch Blackish. I highly recommend this show. I think that it's going to get a really strong first season, and I would not be surprised if it gets renewed for a second one. I'm hoping, like the Goldbergs, that these two comedies really last, because it's great to see these kinds of situation comedies again on television, especially network TV. So now let's go into a little bit of the drama, and oh man, is it wonderful to be a comic book fan. Yes, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. While I didn't really get entirely on board with the show at first last year, it ended on such a high note. It was revolutionary that the television show was so connected to the films. You couldn't watch the last 5 to 6 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. if you did not see Captain America Winter Soldier. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ended beautifully. The cast is phenomenal. Clark Gregg really personified Agent Coulson and really turned him into something very special. Appearances from Colby Smulders and Samuel L. Jackson were great as well. Ian DeLancaster and Elizabeth Henstridge, who played Fitzsimmons, are probably my favorite characters, and Chloe Bennett was phenomenal in Season 1 as Skye, and Season 2 has kicked it up a notch. It's so much more intense, the characters are being elaborated on a lot more and expanded on a lot more, and we've even gotten a couple of very famous Marvel comic book villains, as well as another famous face in S.H.I.E.L.D., Mockingbird. We even had an appearance of Lucy Lawless in Episode 1, so I have just been excited to watch every episode of Season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. every single week. It's so awesome. I'm really curious to see how it's going to intertwine with the future Marvel films. I mean, there was no connection with Guardians of the Galaxy. However, the theme of the show is very much connected to where the Marvel Universe is going to go. And like Guardians of the Galaxy and the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm really interested to see how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will connect with these additional two worlds in the Marvel Universe. But now let's get into probably the best show on television this year, and that is How to Get Away with Murder. I have never seen Grey's Anatomy, I have never seen an episode of Scandal, but holy God, How to Get Away with Murder is without a doubt one of the greatest shows that I have seen on television in the past 10 years. It is beautifully executed, so full of suspense and drama, and I don't usually watch these kinds of shows. I am a huge fan of Viola Davis. I adored her in The Help. She was a surprise to me in Ender's Game, but in this show, as Annalise, the hotshot lawyer who is a professor and is basically always taking on these cases where she is defending the bad guy, and she shows exactly what the show is about, How to Get Away with Murder. The cast works so well with each other. Each episode is hair-raising and you're always on the edge of your seat. And for all of you Harry Potter fans, you should hop on this show right now because Alfred Enoch, a.k.a. Dean Thomas, is one of the main characters on this show. When I was looking at the commercials for this show, I saw his face and I kept saying to myself, who the hell is this kid? He looks so familiar. Dean Thomas, Harry Potter, and he has come a long way. It is wonderful to see one of the side characters, if you will, of Harry Potter really coming into his own, and in this show as Wes Gibbons, he is so far amazing on this show. Although I really believe that Viola Davis is going to get the Emmy for Best Actress in the Emmys in the coming year, but How to Get Away with Murder, guys, this is the show. This is the show you have to see. And I won't be surprised if next year, when I'm doing my season finale, that How to Get Away with Murder is the best television show of the 2014-2015 season. 4 great shows to watch, guys, on ABC, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next television special. Actions speak louder than words.